Hey everybody, Wandering Pastor coming to you today with some thoughts on worship. What is it? How do we do it? Why do we do it? And how do we know when we're not doing it? Because it's important to know what is the object of your worship. Here's why I was thinking of that. I was doing a devotional this morning and I read something that kind of felt off. The guy was talking about worship as though that I was the focus, the individual. Not that I was worshiping myself, but I was worshiping God because of what he did for me. Now, there's one thing to thank God for what he's done for me, but to me, worship seems different than that. And then I was listening to music, worship music, and it was like every song, most songs, were about what God has done for me. You know, how he's forgiven me. He's given me peace, that he is my deliverance. He will deliver me. All of the things that when you consider each song, I am more the focus than he is. And I started to think about how off is that? And I started to think that we need to recalibrate what we understand worship to be. Because it's certainly not just singing. It's certainly not just devotions. It's how we live, and I'll talk about that. So I wanted to talk to you very quickly about three things that worship is. First of all, worship is acknowledging God for who he is, for what he is, for his character, his attributes. So one of the places you read about God and who he is in Revelation 21, the very end of the Bible, where it says, he says to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. So one of the things you learn about God is he is the source. He is the one, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. He was there before the beginning. He will be there after the end. He is sovereign. And then you start to list off his attributes. And again, he's sovereign, he's powerful, he's holy, he's loving, he's faithful, he's good, he's right, he's pure, he is without defect, he is wise, he is good. And with those things in mind, as I get my eyes off of myself and onto him and who he is, then I'm in the right position, in the right posture to worship. And of course, what is one of the benefits of doing that? Well, it teaches me humility, among other things, that I realize that life isn't all about me. This world isn't all about me and how it affects me. My worship of him humbles me before him, and that's a good thing. We can always use more humility, especially in a world that seems to be puffing self up. We need to instead acknowledge God and worship God. Second thing about worship is that when we worship, we are acknowledging our trust in him and that he is worthy of our trust. One of the Psalms I'll read for you is from Psalm 62, just one verse, verse 8, and it says, "Trust in him at all times, O people. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge." Another famous passage is in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, that it just says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." That he is worthy of our trust. He is, no matter what is going on in our world, no matter what is going on in my life, I can trust him. That I know that he has it, and he has me in his hands. And as a result, and because I know his attributes, and I've already acknowledged who he is, that he's good and right and holy and wise and pure and faithful and all of that, because of that, I can trust him with my issues. So it might be a health issue. It might be a relationship issue. It might be a financial issue. It might be your career, your dreams, your hopes. It might be your assumptions of how this, world will go, or how the elections will turn out, or it might be any of those things. But when I put God in my focus as far as worship, I know that I can now trust him with everything, because he is indeed worthy of my trust and he is in control. And therefore, with that in mind, I can then have peace, because no matter what, if I trust him implicitly because of who he is and what he's done and what his character is like, and how different he is than me, and how he's bigger than all of it. If I trust him rightly and I acknowledge his character, then I can have peace. Peace that passes understanding, as Paul writes about in Philippians 4. Why? Because I know the God who is in control. And I trust the God who is in control. You know, many people talk about how that verse, that Philippians 4, 6, and 7, do not be anxious about anything, but with everything with prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God that passes all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Well, one of the things that people say to me frequently is, well, I've prayed and I still don't feel peace. And the key is you have to have prayer and then trust. You leave it with him. Doesn't mean you're irresponsible and you do nothing. It means you leave the issue with him. You trust him with it, and you don't keep taking it back. And then when you acknowledge him, when you've worshiped him for who he is, when you've trusted him with your circumstance, then you can experience the peace that passes understanding. And then the third thing about worship is worship on a very personal level is surrender. It's surrendering all my life to him. It's surrendering everything to him. One of the things Romans 12 verses 1 and 2 say is, therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, in view of all he's done for you, as one version says, I urge you to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will. You will be able to live it out because you're living sacrifices for him. You're surrendering everything to him. You're surrendering your life to him. You're surrendering your circumstances to him. You're surrendering your future to him. It might be your future or your family or your finances or your faith or any of those things, any other cool alliteration I can do, anything like that. It's trusting to him and saying, Lord, I'm willing to follow you. And if by my life or by my death or anything else in between, I can honor you and glorify you, that's what I want to do. That is real worship. So worship is acknowledging him for who he is. And it starts by getting my eyes off of me and onto him. Worship is then trusting him as the God over the universe, the God who has it all in his hands, the Alpha and the Omega. And then worship is surrendering all to him, willingly worshiping by saying, Lord, take it. Do with it what I can't do. You I trust. You are good. You are wise. That is real worship. And so worship isn't just a song, but I do want to challenge you to think about the songs you sing in worship. Who's the topic? Who's the subject of the songs? Now, surely there should be and could be very appropriately a song or two that says, Lord, I thank you because of what you've done for me. That's different. That's maybe praise. But worship is I acknowledge who you are. I acknowledge you. You are the one my body needs. You are the one my life needs. You are the one over all of it. And it acknowledges him for who he is, his character, his goodness, and how different he is from you and from me and from every other person in this world. Worship. Worship the Lord with gladness today. Wandering Pastor, just encouraging you, man, take some time to think about this. Chew on it. Think of your favorite worship songs. Are they about you or are they about him? Think about your favorite worship devotionals. Are they about you or even your circumstances, or are they about him? Certainly, there is a time in our prayers to bring our circumstances to God. That's part of surrender, right? That's part of trust. But it starts with acknowledging who he is, okay? Wandering Pastor saying grace and peace to you today. I hope you have a great day. Have any questions or comments about this or any other videos you see, please email me at wanderingpastor@gmail.com. I'll answer every single one of them. Look for a new podcast, a weekly podcast that's coming up starting this weekend. I'm going to do that sort of culminating, and looking back on every week's YouTube videos, but also talking about events of the day. And if you have any questions or comments that you want me to deal with in that podcast, by all means, email me that at wanderingpastor.com. If you could, please like and follow my page at Wandering Pastor 7958 on YouTube and share it with other people. Okay? Appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great day.